you're going to speak to the police, then tell them that there's something happening in this airport that may endanger human lives. Things are not always what they seem. Comedian tours are not quite what they seem either. I believe comedian tours to be merely a front, a cover. For what? For the mass kidnapping of young people.
Never deliver any passengers. They say they pick up young passengers to take them up to other places, but none of them ever arrive anywhere.
One step nearer and I'll blow you off to smithereens!
That doctor is a menace to our plans. Then we must kill him.
Oh, Doctor! Can't you do anything to stop it?
No!
You wanted to know what was the secret of chameleon tours? Well, Inspector? See for yourself.
Hi, AnneMarie. Greetings from Las Vegas. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh.
What time is it over there?
It is 9 a.m.
Bright and early. Good.
Well, Doctor Who, the Faceless Ones, the animated series, I'm Generation X, so I grew up with Tom Baker as Doctor Who. And I remember discovering that show and just being so confused, as a little boy, just like, what is going on? But there was just something hypnotic about it, especially the theme song. So this is a real thrill for me today.
Fantastic.
Well, this is a fascinating story because this is taken from the live action Doctor Who 4th season of the series. Episodes are missing. 2 of the 6 survived. No clue to what happened to them. And the animation kind of fills in the blanks, doesn't it?
Yes, we've actually animated all 6 episodes rather than just the missing ones. So it can be watched. And part of it actually is for new audiences, for a whole new generation of people to be introduced to the classic Doctor Who. So it can be watched. In fact, there's a 16:9 color version, a 4:3 black and white version. There's the telesnap reconstruction of the original recording from '67, plus the original surviving episodes, as well as audio commentaries and loads of other extras. So you can actually have pretty much every experience of that show that was done through the BBC.
It sounds like you were given total access to the BBC archives, weren't you? Or how did that happen?
Yes, absolutely. They were very generous and totally opened the doors to everything. So what we've done is we've taken the original script and we've been true to the script and to the audio recordings. So we have the original recordings from 1967. So we have the all the actors, all the dialogue, music and sound effects, which is all embedded in one track, unfortunately, which makes it very hard to edit. Normally, obviously, when we approach an animated series, we have the script, we write up a story, write up a script, and then we draw up the storyboard, which is like the drawn version of a script. And then we start animation and we record the actors and we have a few different takes. And then we'll add the music or compose music for it for dramatic effects, etc., and add sound effects at the very end. Here we have sound effects, music and dialogue all already embedded into one. We have no option of retakes and there's no way of like taking out a sound effect that doesn't work anymore or isn't fitting with the way we're telling the story. So it's an interesting challenge for sure. It's very different to how we'd normally make a show.
And nobody knows what happened to the missing episodes of the BBC, do they? They just vanished?
I don't know what happened to these either, but there was a tradition at the time. Tape was quite expensive in the 60s and 70s. So they often recorded over shows that, nobody knew that Doctor Who would become this massive popular show and that 50 years later, people would want to watch them.
That was all with television history because they would just I know there was episodes like The Tonight Show here in America, Johnny Carson. They just reused the tapes. They would just tape over everything. Yeah. So,
and you look back now and it's heartbreaking, but at the time it was just a practical financial decision, really.
Because early films, all of the first 20, 30 years of our film history is gone. I mean, they just didn't save it, or throw it away. And there was a move to save our television history. And this is just an example of that. So
absolutely.
Was there many discussions on the visual style of the series? Because the background details are just exceptional. They're really amazing.
We kind of had it was pretty open to whatever we wanted to do. I mean, we've done the characters in 2D, so they're drawn up, they're designed, they're all designed. In fact, we have one character designer, very overworked, poor Martin Garrity on this show. That's a large cast, especially when you populate an airport. It was all filmed, the original was actually all filmed in Gatwick Airport in London. and back in the 60s, fewer people flew, which is fortunate for us, because I was just thinking, how many people do we need to fill the airport with? So we've lots of characters. They're all designed by Martin Geraghty, and they have a sort of, as you can see in your background, kind of a comic book style. They're quite detailed characters, which makes them quite challenging to animate, actually. As you can imagine, something with a rubber ball and eyes is a lot quicker and easier to bounce around a screen. And the backgrounds are done in 3D. As are any, like, there are 3D elements in the planes and things like that are all done in 3D. So we had to choose a style that sort of worked for, that the 2D characters could realistically live in. And it all kind of worked and worked in harmony quite well. And we tried to create a bit of a contrast for when they're in the alien planet and around the chameleons, and when they're in the airport. So we're trying to create a bit of contrast in that as well.
And in this storyline, the Doctor fights the chameleons, these alien identity thieves. And Patrick Troughton is the Doctor in the series. I can never keep track of them. There's so many.
Patrick Troughton's the second Doctor. So William Hartnell was the first. I have to say, I'm a latecomer to Doctor Who myself. And I wasn't familiar with these early classic Doctor Who's until I started working on the shows. And I just feel privileged. And I hope some of the audience who aren't familiar with them either feel the same as I do. I feel so fond of Doctor Who, of Patrick Troughton when he plays Doctor Who. He's such a quirky, eccentric, odd little character. He's absolutely brilliant. He has this really elastic face and so many cool expressions, and he can just stand around saying nothing and communicate so much with the lift of an eyebrow. He's brilliant.
And fan reaction, because Doctor Who fans are like Star Trek fans. They're very loyal. Have you had much feedback about the series from fans?
Yes, yeah. I'm glad to say most of what I've seen has been very positive, actually, which is really, it's really lovely to get. It was a very intense project. It was a lot of work for in quite a short period of time for an animated series, like relative to other series that I've worked on. And the team worked incredibly hard. So it's really nice at the end of it that the fans seemed to be very happy with it. So it's lovely for the team as well to get some recognition.
Well, AnneMarie, congratulations on the series premiering on BBC America. And hopefully we'll speak again soon for your next project. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for making time. Enjoy.